What do you think about the current options for students in high school to pursue further education?
I think that a lot of students feel a lot of pressure about further education after high school. Some students, even in middle school, feel pressure about college or what they want to be in life. So I think that a lot of students could be stressed, but I would encourage them to just focus on themselves and to relax and to know that there are a lot of options out there. So as far as options in coding, I know that that there are a lot of great collegiate programs. I know that there are some brand new cutting edge programs like MIT. I think it's MIT-X, which is out there, which allows people to learn coding or learn all these skills just simply online. And it's pretty interesting to think about how further education is evolving and what education is necessary to be successful.
What do you think about having all students take a coding class in high school? This would be mandatory, just teach them basic coding.
So I think that's really an interesting idea. What I would suggest, because sometimes coding classes can be part of a math class, so I would suggest that coding would be a subject or a topic within an already established math class. So maybe have a couple chapters on coding within an Algebra 2 class or within a geometry class. That way all students are exposed to it. I think that it's really a 21st century skill that all students should be able to code, and that it's something that would be practical and would pay off for kids. And in long term, I think that big picture that we will eventually require a coding class.
With increasing costs of college, do you think schools should put less emphasis on college and more focus on other options such as trade schools?
That's an interesting question. I think ultimately that that the school's role should be to support students and families as they make these decisions for themselves. So I think that ultimately that it's a question of the student discerning with their parents and with their guidance counselors and with their coaches and with their teachers what is right individually for them. And the school should reflect the values and the choices of the community.
When do you think is the best time to teach students how to code?
I've seen some programs where they're teaching kids to code even as young children, as young as 4 and 5. Especially there's a lot of research out there that says that the best time to learn a language is when students are the youngest, in kindergarten and first grade. So I think that's interesting. I think it's important to think of coding as a language, and then think of it as early as possible. But I also think that it could be practical in a high school level for learning how to code.
Do you believe that coding could help students in other subject areas?
Absolutely. I think there's lots of cross-curricular applications to coding, that it could be related to science classes, but especially to math. So as a math teacher, I teach geometry. I see a lot of connections between having to do proofs in geometry and coding. And also in an algebra class, just because students could spend a whole year taking algebra and not really know what an x is. So they solve for x, they know how to do the steps, but what really is an x? Math should be about numbers instead of letters, so what really is going on? So coding can make sense of really what a variable is, that it's representing some unknown quantity, and thinking of it like a computer.
That's all. Thanks for your time.